I am the foreign minister, so it would be remiss of me not to speak a little bit about the world. And as you say, I do believe something happened yesterday.
Just a small thing.
Yes. I think there are probably, to my mind, 4 or 5 important consequences for the relationship and for the business aspect of the relationship. One, there was already a reordering of supply chains which was taking place. It is very likely that in view of the election results yesterday in the US, that this would accelerate. I'd be very candid with you. I mean, some of it would certainly be somewhat disruptive, but we in India perceive it as an opportunity, because having kind of missed the manufacturing bus in the 1990s, early 2000s, we do think that this reordering of supply chain gives us a sort of second bite of the apple, and maybe this time around, starting with Apple, we are doing better than we were doing earlier. The second, there will be, in a way, more geopolitical hedging. What will inevitably happen as a consequence of policies which we can, at least those parts of it we can safely predict, will be many more of us would be seeking more relationships to keep life stable. The third pertains to the digital side, and the digital side now pretty much covers everything. And what has happened, what has been happening and will continue to intensify is issues about in a way of trust and what accompanies the digital aspect of a product or a service or a technology, I think will come under greater scrutiny. And it will reflect itself in different fields. I mean, you've seen that already in semiconductors, where there's a very conscious attempt at diversification of production, and the drive towards AI will further accelerate this. Digital payment platforms, for example, would become, in a sense, more valuable, but also which platform to use with whom becomes an important question. A fourth one, to my mind, is mobility of talent and skills, because even as there is a re-globalization or reworking of the current architecture, apart from the technology changes, I think the demographic unevenness of the world is beginning to bite us. That there would be economies where the demand would be high, the talents may not be plentiful, it could be different in other places. And what will happen, in a sense, is already happening. And I can, give you some very interesting numbers here, is we will be moving, my guess is perhaps in the next few years, to a much more integrated global workplace. That many countries, and it'll be, to my mind, even a United States under Donald Trump, will make a distinction in immigration and mobility. That for them, economically justified mobility will have to be fostered, while those where the economic value is less or negative will have to be managed. So this is going to be, in fact, I tell my colleagues in foreign policy, I actually think for us, at least in India, it's going to be one of the top 3 priorities. That how do you create and manage and optimize a global workplace? Now the global workplace doesn't mean that the talent alone has to move. Businesses can move as well. We've already seen in the last few years, right now, by the last count we have about 1,800 global capability centers in India, which between them generate about $150 billion worth of exports. So we see this trend intensify because the more technology-driven, more digital era is going to require a certain concentration and access to skills and talent. So whether the talent goes to the business or the business goes to the talent, I mean that's a decision which corporates will be making. And finally, we do think that again, politics notwithstanding, the world will be greener. That while the pace of the greening of the economy may vary, definitely, if one looks today, I mean, we are certainly taking a big bet on green hydrogen, on green ammonia. We are thinking of green shipping corridors. Electric mobility is already upon us. We are looking at biodiesel. In fact, that's something we are pushing very strongly at sustainable aviation fuel. So that whole world is green steel. I mean, these are going to come. Politics or no politics, it may come faster, it may come in some countries more than other countries, but it will actually not stop as a global trend. So these, to my mind, would be the geopolitical factors we have to contend with, and which our relationship. Now we can either sit back and watch it, resist it in some cases, or leverage it in many cases. I mean, that choice is up to us. We as relationship managers, all of you as enterprises with a stake in it. So that's the broad picture. One last word. As I said, it helps when you are re-elected. It helps even more when you're re-elected twice. So we've got off to a fast start. We've done less than 150 days of the third term. But even in this period, we have made we've taken some very big calls. Among the calls which might be of interest to you, one is to set up 12 major industrial zones across India with a view to attracting global manufacturing and promoting domestic manufacturing. Secondly, to double down on the infrastructure spending because the infrastructure investments are still primarily driven by government spending. So we will continue to do that and we hope to see a greater private sector involvement there. And we intend to connect that to the zones in question. Three, a big focus on human resources development, on skills. We are encouraging corporates to do more internship. There's a kind of a Prime Minister's internship scheme which we have announced promote stronger rural growth because again, historically that's been the laggard sector. That's changing now. So as the agrarian economy really sort of gets better value for its production, we are seeing actually the gaps between industrial growth and rural growth narrow in comparison to the past. And finally, as I said, prepare for this different world which we are looking at, a world of AI, a world of EV, a world of really greener services and greener products. So that's really the picture which I want to present to you.